Hey guys, I made a video a while back about making up a chord progression that could be used in a surf instrumental. That's an older video from maybe 4 years ago, and somebody asked if I could make a lead part to it. Well, this is the chord progression: A minor, D minor, A minor, repeat. That would be part A. A minor, D minor, A minor, A minor, repeat. Part B would be G, G, C, C, G, G, E7, E7. Kind of a walk down, and then you can go back to part A. So I just made that up during the video. Just to show how easy it is to make a chord progression. You don't have to really strain to come up with something. So A minor, I'm in bar chord zone here. I'll just show you what that sounds like. But after this, I'm going to try to make a lead part, or at least show the steps I would recommend for a student to understand how to play over those chords. I may not come up with the definitive epic lead of all time, but at least I'll show you how to function and make notes that could fit over those chords as we, you don't want to force it. You just want to maybe let it flow a little bit. So here's the chords. So on that walk down, I was kind of thinking it could be major or minor because the E7 is major, but the riff sounds better minor, so I kind of muffed that. But here's minor. Here's major. Ah. Yeah. There's major. Sounds too happy. Minor. And the difference here would be the C sharp for major, the C for minor, and that would pertain to an A minor chord. So I think I'll do an A minor scale to take us to the A minor chord. So, for my students, they're like, hey, I want to make a lead to that. Or if we're doing step by step, I'm kind of coaching them how to write something or how to, again, function. There's many ways to do this. You could kind of think of a scale, but I tend to think of chord tones. So, or to make it really simple, I might just hit the root notes, A, D, A, which sounds kind of boring, but most of my students are not sure how to do that. So I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to show you some other chord tones, and we'll see if some magic happens. So you could go A to the D to the A. For that, you could do different, anywhere on the guitar. The bass note, that might be too low and kind of fight with the bass guitar and the chord. So something higher might work better. The higher. That's why you got to know your notes on the guitar so you can find those quickly. Or you could do it like this. And there's many A's and D's on your neck, and you just have to know those. We'll cover as much as we can here. Now when it goes G, G, C, C, G, G, E7, you can find your root down here. Then the C. G, G. I'm glad I barely almost hit the F there. And then you could maybe do the walk down. Just an idea. So I realize that's just root notes, but it would sound correct. So let's find some other ways to play over that. For beginners, that would be a pretty good step to master finding those with confidence, which I was fairly confident. I thought I was, but I did almost miss a note. So it's always interesting and challenging, even if it's very simple. So another way might be chord shapes, like little triads. I use these all the time. A little A minor, D minor, and A minor. Those are pretty sexy. You can probably see I'm just laying my pointer finger flat. You probably realize that's just part of an A minor chord, the 3 skinny strings. And then the D minor, just part of the D minor chord. Just little triads, which I've presented many times in the past. Hopefully you've worked on them, but if you haven't, here they are. That sounds pretty correct. It's just kind of filler. It's not really that exciting, but it does sound pretty neat too. When you go to the G and the C, you could come down here for the G and the C, the G, the E7. That's pretty cool. Check out that G to E7. So we just change one note. And there is something going on here I just discovered. I mean, I wasn't expecting that to sound that cool, actually. So here's our G. I'm just going to add the ring finger to the E7, and so you have a little chromatic line there, the G, the G sharp, and the A. So we could use that in our melody if we advance and make something more kind of, not so robotic sounding, but still, it's a good exercise. If you've not done this, this is kind of cracking open how this can work. And again, I did not plan this out. I'm just improvising. I had to look up my old video. Last night I watched it and wrote down the chords, and then I thought, well, I'll give it a crack. So let's just review those triads: A minor, D minor, A minor. A little whammy bar is kind of cool. And then you got your G to a C, G, E7, and A minor. Now, you can find them up the neck too, and you can definitely, they're all over the neck. You can do them low. That was A minor, D minor, A minor. I like that D minor down here. That's a F, A, D. Those are the notes of a D minor chord. So you can find them low, which I like to explore the low notes of a song, and maybe the middle notes and the high notes, just to give it some excitement and dynamics. Now, again, you can find triads all over the neck, say like a little reverb and whammy bar and a Fender amp. Jaguar, pretty cool. The G, you could go C, whoa, that's pretty exciting. This could really be a thing. So yeah, I was finding out other triads for G and C and working my way up the neck to kind of build excitement as it gets higher and higher, which is really fun to do. I suppose it's a little bit predictable, but still, you're going to find things that really fit. Now, if you want to do something more like a scale, you can maybe do your A minor. Keep in mind those chord tones. You know, on an A minor chord, it's A, C, E. On a D minor chord, it's D, F, A. G is you got a G, B, G, B, D. C is C, E, G. And E7 would be E, G sharp, B, and a D. So E7 has 4 notes. The others have 3 notes. But you could also get a little bit of scale work, like that was a little. So that's a B going to a C. So I was kind of like getting a little scaly. B, C, B, A. What did I do there on the D? Something like that. This note, this E leads to the F. I got the, on the D minor chord, a little bit of scale work, like a C, B, A. I kind of forgot what chord I was on for a second. So you can kind of do arpeggios and scales. It gets a little, here it's totally open-ended. You can do whatever. Here's an idea for the G and the C. You can do these kind of classic double stops. Forgot. That's pretty cool. I was thinking G, C, G, and then E7 and E7. Double stops in harmony. I think those are sixths. I believe they are. Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 notes in the scale between them. See, here's G. E7. Ending on a D and a B, which is part of an E7 chord. So that's why I always have my students play the chords really slow, one note at a time, and listen and think about the notes of the chord, which I think they get annoyed with me, but I'm like, yeah, that's okay. You might start hearing things that are going to really help you. All right, so again, this is not the definitive final, this is the melody, this is the way to play over these chords. It's just my method of maybe, if I had recorded those chords, I would, let's say I recorded a bass part and chords and drums. I'm thinking, wow, maybe it's time to make a lead part, and I would start like this, using these, either the roots or the chord tones or a little bit of scale runs, and eventually something will pop out and it will feel like a solid piece. Just to share when I do that, I'll if I'm overdubbing and recording it over and over for might take a few days of just like getting more and more like into it and maybe getting kind of a little bit manic about it. I'm just like, that's good, I love it, and then I'll kind of sit back and listen and go, no, I can do better, I want to do it a different way, and I keep trying, and eventually, you know, I might kind of run around in circles and or make a demo or something, and maybe I'll walk away from it, come back later and like, oh my gosh, that was really good, or that was not so good. But it's just kind of like, it's a mental kind of crazy exercise. But what I usually do is make it a little overly complex, and so the whole song, my whole lead part for the song is one, I call it one gigantic like a sequence of notes, a giant melody, which is pretty ambitious. And maybe my band guys will say, Brook, that's good, make sure to play it just like you recorded it. I'm like, uh-oh. So I have to memorize that huge giant meandering thing. So and it's a little overly complex, and it's really hard to memorize, but it's easy to play, or kind of, but to reproduce it live consistently, it can be a problem. So that's why keeping things simple is pretty cool. So I hope I gave you a couple of ideas. If you can, leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. And if you can use this, you can borrow anything, the chord progression or the licks or the ideas, please do. And if you could subscribe, that'd be super cool. I'm trying not to, I'm trying to do other things than make YouTube videos these days, but I'll try to pop back in here once in a while if I have a question. If somebody asks a question, I'll try to respond if I feel I can do a little justice to it. So I'm going to go in and get a massage today, 90-minute, and I really need that. So it's going to be pretty therapeutic. All right, well, I really enjoyed making this video today, so thanks for letting me show you my groovy custom shop Jaguar, and I'm playing through a 66 Vibro Champ and my, I think that's an old, yeah, original early 60s reverb unit, so that's the sound. And well, good luck making some chord progressions, and make your own thing, man. You can do it. All right, take care.